In beginning our next assignment, I want to go over what's in your package. The first sheet is your evaluation sheet, and it describes for you what it is you're meant to be doing and in the order that you should really be doing them in. And the next page is an instruction sheet that just goes a little bit further in telling you what it is you're doing and how to do it. The next page is both your floor plan view, and your elevation of this little tiny room in your house, in the house that you're redecorating. This is our first room in that house. And it's a small room, very small. It's only 12 feet wide and about 5 feet deep. Just enough room for a sofa, bookcase on this side of the wall, and a fireplace facade on the other wall. That's all we have room for, but that's enough. We can create a lot of atmosphere and have a lot going on in it besides. And we have a window, a large window at the back, so we can do a wonderful window treatment. We also have a gabled ceiling. This is the elevation for the wall with the bookcase in it, the left-hand wall. And it shows you at what height everything is put in at. And this is for the fireplace wall on the other side, the right wall. The next page tells you where to find your videos, your instructional videos. So the first one for your InClass assignment, and this is what your InClass assignment is going to look like. That first video is going to talk you through how to do all of this, and it's going to tell you about elevations and floor plans and how they all work beautifully together. All three of our elements work beautifully together. So this is a very simple drawing. It shouldn't take you more than a few minutes to do, but it'll prepare you for the next part. And you do that on the small grid. You're going to be given 2 grids, but you do this on the smaller of your grids. I've included 2 of each of the grids in your package so that if you don't like the results you got the first time you tried, you'll have a backup one. And here is something a little bit else too. I've put in some freehand sketching to scale exercises. If drawing is new for you and you need to have a little bit more practice to gain some confidence, these will boost your confidence no end. And I'd be happy to see whatever you want to try and bring to class. I would love to see it, to give you some feedback. Then there are 2 figures. These figures are optional, but when it comes to your room, you want just the right person, just the right atmosphere, and sometimes the whole atmosphere is changed when you make use of people that are not facing us, but that are facing into the room itself. So they're an optional couple. You could use one at a time, just one figure for this project. There's not room for 2. This is again the little grid, the small one. You're going to be using these videos, preparing for class week 4. They're going to talk you through and show you how to make this drawing on this page. And here's how it's going to end up looking. We have 2 vanishing points because we have a box in 2-point perspective. And then we're going to use our single vanishing point that's in the center of our room to draw this box. And we're also going to do a vaulted ceiling. Save the gable. It's going to describe the gable, but I thought it wouldn't hurt for you to hear that description twice. But the one that you do for this exercise is the vaulted one. And then we have a built-in bookcase, not on the wall that it will be on in your drawing, but just for practice on the other side. I'm going to move on now to show you what this first part of the assignment will ultimately look like when you're done. So this assignment that I just showed you is going to go on the back of your mounting paper. This is our in-class exercise. On the front of your big cartridge paper, so you have to imagine this is enormous, you're going to have these items. And these items are represented on your assignment sheet. These are small copies of pictures I took of previous students' work. So I'm sorry that they're small, but you can imagine if it was on your big cartridge paper how it might look. Your simple box form drawing is down here. That's your simple box form drawing. But imagine it being this big. That's how big it's going to be if you compare it to my hand. That's your second grid. That's your big grid. So you're saving that for the actual exercise, this great big grid. You're going to follow the instructions for that. And the instructions for that are in these videos. Week 4, the video demos in this playlist will show you how to complete part 1 of assignment 2, creating a simple box form drawing. Okay, so they're all here. It's going to tell you how to make the gable and the light and the bookcase and everything else. And it will look like this, something like this. You'll be shown how to use your elevation and your floor plan to sort out where to place things and how big to make them. Both of these elevations and the floor plan. Keep going after you get here because there's more. There are more of them. Because you're going to size one of our figures. So as you can see in this example, all of the boxes are there. She has been put inside, and she's the right size because she's been scaled to fit. And there's a video that's going to show you how to determine that. There's also one that's going to show you how to use the college copiers to get her to be the right size. And you'll be shown that once you get them to be the right size, then you cut them out like this. You fussy cut them. So you cut them out like paper dolls and you place them in place. Now, women, they're the easiest because you just have to, because our eye level is at 5 feet, where their feet end up actually doesn't matter as long as you get their eyes on the 5-foot eye level line. That will make them about an average height of 5 feet 6 inches or so. So here she is. I've got her eyes approximately on the eye level, and she's standing there, and she's that far away from my sofa, so she's looking about the right size, and that was that easy. Now men, it's a little different, and the video is going to show you how, but we want them to be kind of tall and a little taller than usual probably, but about 6 feet. And you see, the bigger they are, the closer to the front of the drawing they have to be. But you'll see how to do that. You have to measure them the way you're measuring the furniture. Now, on slate, there's an additional very important diagram. It's going to show you the intricate parts of sizing the sofa. So you see, you have to follow that line that the front of the sofa is on. And all our measurements are on the wall for the height. So you have to go over, it's like pushing the sofa against the wall, and then measuring up again in order to find the proper heights for everything. And you would have to do the same thing with him. You'd have to set him on a line, bring him over to the wall, and see where he'd be. And this is just about right, actually. So he'd be in front like this of our drawing, and that would be fine. We could stand him in front. He's very proud of his new home. The other thing about this, too, on the glass plate, if you didn't like the way he was facing, because your drawing is on tracing paper, you could just flip your tracing paper and have him the other way. That would be easy. And because he's at the front of the room, he'd cover a little bit of the arm of the sofa, but that would be quite nice. It would work out fine. Maybe not covering that, so this is probably the better side for him. So that's how easy that is, and you'll be shown how to do it. If we go now onto our instruction sheet, we've covered the in-class exercise. We looked at the simple box form drawing, and it's on your large grid. Everybody knows that. Be very careful when you do this, that the 5-foot eye level is there, and you don't turn it upside down. That happens, and the whole thing is ruined. You do all that work, and it's all incorrect. So please be careful how you place your grids, both of them. The little one when you do the in-class exercise, and then this one as well. Going back to our examples, that big drawing is going down here on your cartridge paper, and you see how when she chose her reference photos, you're going to be choosing a reference photo for your light fixture, your window treatment, your carpet pattern, and 2 sofas, so that you get to choose between one and the other. in determining the style of the room, the overall room. Since it's the largest piece of furniture and it's right in the center, it kind of takes center stage. And then you're going to make some sketches of them. And when you do your sketch, you're going to include a little floor plan view. And the video will show you. There are several videos that are going to show you how to make these sketches. The approximate size of them is going to be half a piece of 8.5 11, half a piece of printer paper, essentially. And you can make your little floor plan up at the top and down below. I began with this one. You have to be careful. Sometimes you're attracted by color, and I think I was here. But I think it's rather jaunty with this little bright buttons, and the piping is quite lovely. And there's a lovely curve to it as well, a little bit flirty curve on it as well. So in a floor plan, you can really appreciate that. So that's what we're doing here, is trying to make sure that when we sketch it, we do capture exactly what this is in terms of shape. So this is a modern one. This is a more traditional one. You needn't choose a traditional piece. See, this one was in 2-point, and I made it in 1-point because that's what we're going to be drawing on our drawing. So we want to get some practice at looking at things that way. So you needn't pick something traditional. This one is extremely traditional, and there's a video that shows you how I drew this as well. See how sketchy it is? That's what these are. They're sketches drawn by hand and with pen. You needn't do that. You can choose something modern as long as it doesn't look like a box, the box we started with. Here were my choices. I chose a chaise. I loved the shape of this, and I do like traditional things. So that's why I chose that one. I love the shape of it and the details. I also chose this as my window treatment. Remember, you're going to choose a window treatment. I just loved the look of it, the curves. I thought the curves went with my chaise. And I chose this as my light fixture, my pendant light fixture. And this as my carpet. Now, I would never, for this assignment, choose this sofa. It looks too much like the box that we're starting with. So avoid those. You can choose modern, but avoid that. Avoid this. There's not much interest there. It's mostly the pattern, which is charming, but not enough of a challenge. This one is better. The arms are doing something interesting, couple of things, and the legs as well. A little bit traditional, but this would be great too. It doesn't have arms, but there's kind of a hint of an arm. That would be challenging enough, perhaps. We'd have to talk about it. That's what you're doing too, so we can talk about it. And this is modern. But there's enough going on there. There's enough detail. It is boxy, but there's tufting and there's other little things going on. There are cushions. That could work. And of course, this would be lovely. And then you've got that hint of exposed brick at the back would be lovely. So you're getting a whole atmosphere going here. And this, again, is one of the more traditional ones. You can have a back level with the arm, or you can have a back that exceeds the height of the arm. Either way is fine. You're going to have video support for your sketching. It's not shown here, but it's there. You just have to click on the arrow. And you know now that you need to pick 2 different sofas, because we have to talk about which one is going to be, that we both need to be happy with it, so we'll talk about it. And you're going to sketch them to see. You may find out in sketching it that it's not of interest to you. And you're going to do your box drawing, and you've got videos to help you with that. When you secure this big grid in place, trim off that big piece of paper on the right-hand side. Put your grid in the corner, the bottom right-hand corner. That way, when you put your sketches beside, there's going to be room for them. Here's another example. She has her 2 sofas, both extremely traditional, and her sketches are lovely. They worked out really well. Her window treatment is traditional. Her chandelier is, and so is her carpet pattern as well. When you put your name and information on the back, put your name first, print very clearly. If you have 2 names, you have an English name and another name, put both on. Your evaluation sheet gives you what assignment it is. So it's assignment 2 part 1. So your name first, assignment 2 part 1, drawing techniques. Leave lots of time to size your pieces. Yes, there's not a lot of room up there, and you don't want to overlap them. You want to secure them all four corners, that they're secured in place. They won't flap or get torn or ripped. You need time to get them the right size on the copier, and there's a video to show you how. In the video, I talk about sizing the figure, and I use 70% as an example. I'm not telling you to use 70%. I don't know what percentage will work for your figure. Just take that as an example. Just for now, only these things, nothing more, and the exercise on the back.